So guys, there's this headline here that says that terrorists ambush traders on Kwara Kogi route, several failed kidnapped. So many people have been reacting to this particular headline. So someone here tweeted and said, Kwara is now a new hotspot for bandits and kidnappers. What is the state governor doing to suppress this attack on innocent citizens? Or are we still waiting for federal government intervention? So another person tweeted and said, do we have security agencies in Nigeria? This has been going on repeatedly for weeks and nothing has been done. If the security agencies are overwhelmed, let citizens be allowed to arm themselves. The Tinubu admin cannot continue to play chess with the lives of people. Like many people have come out to say that if the government cannot afford to protect its citizens, then the government should give the citizens arms and ammunition to be able to defend themselves. So another person here tweeted and said, you always wake up to bad news about Nigeria. Kidnappers, bandits and terrorists have overwhelmed our security system. I pray we come out of this fast. So another person tweeted and said, as usual, ambushed and several kidnapped. Our leaders, as usual, would not do anything about it other than pay ransom in some cases. All our roads are no longer safe for anyone. It's a terrible situation. So guys, like you see what is going on in Nigeria. Like this kidnapping have become too much. Insecurity is rising day by day. And are we just going to fold our arms and watch this insecurity rise day by day? And they're not only kidnapping little children, they're also kidnapping mothers, elderly people who are traveling or who are just on their own. Like, if the country is no longer safe, people now fear for their lives. People don't even travel again because of insecurity. Honestly, guys, what is going on in Nigeria? You can see that many people are saying that the government should, deploy arms to citizens so that they'll be able to defend themselves. Because we cannot wait for the government, to defend us. We can't wait for the government to come and defend us. Anyway, guys, let us take a look at this next headline here. And here it says, bandits demand 500 million ransom for adopted Kogi cherubim and seraphim pastor and worshippers. Like, a lot of people have reacted based on this headline. So someone here now said, so Kogi is now the headquarters of bandits where they run their lucrative kidnapping business. And that person tweeted and said, people should stop giving these idiots money. The more they collect ransoms, the worse it gets, because these funds they act. Stop paying ransoms or else this will never ever stop. What kind of stupid government do we have? So another person tweeted and said, you kidnapped people in the village and you are demanding for millions. Sure, if them get, you go see them for village. The situation of this country is heartbreaking. Like, guys, honestly, like, imagine the amount of money these people are calling for ransom. 500 million naira from poor villagers. Like, where do they expect these poor villagers to get that amount of money? Like, if these villagers even had that kind of money, are they going to even be in that village? They will not. If they have that amount of money they are calling, these villagers may have even traveled outside the country or stay in a better environment. So let us take a look at this next headline here. It says, terrorists invade Kwara community, adopt housewife, shoot brother-in-law, demand 100 million ransom. A lot of people have been reacting to this particular headline too. So someone here said, all these bandits with their unreasonable demand. If this person gets 100 million, you go see him. If you go see him catch for that community. And another person tweeted and said, the insecurity is out of control at this point. Nobody or family deserve this kind of trauma. So guys, let me allow you guys to watch this wonderful interview from this lawyer, what he has to say about insecurity in Nigeria. And please don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'm going to be right back.
Welcome again. The United States House Appropriations Committee will hold a joint congressional briefing on Tuesday to investigate rising reports of violence and alleged persecution of Christians in Nigeria. The meeting, led by Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart, with support from members of the Appropriations, Foreign Affairs and Financial Service Committee, will feature testimonies from the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, as well as other security and human rights experts. Lawmakers say the aim is to compile a report requested by President Trump on what they describe as a massacre of Nigerian Christians, and to outline possible U.S. intervention to help protect religious minorities in the country. Our lawyer and public affairs analyst Todimu Ige joins us live to discuss Tuesday's congressional hearing on alleged Christian genocide in Nigeria. Todimu, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining. Good to see you again. It's been a while. I was wondering, the reference to Nigerian Christians as minority, but we'll come back to that. But what prompted the U.S. House Appropriations Committee to hold this joint congressional briefing on violence in Nigeria at this time, do you think?
Well, thank you for having me. It's good to be here again. Now, in respect of the committee having a meeting or a sitting or a hearing in respect of whatever they feel that is going on in Nigeria is not out of place. It is whatever decision and the next steps that they take that will now determine whether they are whatever steps they are taking is appropriate or in line with best international practice. But it is not out of place for them to have that kind of hearing to decipher and determine if there are cases of genocide or abuse in Nigeria.
Now, how significant is the role of religious persecution, particularly against Christians, in the broader context of Nigeria's insurgency and violence?
Well, as it stands, the truth of it is that no one should be persecuted on the strength of their religion. And if we have been, we have been seeing a lot of outcry and increase in the killings of Christians in Nigeria, although a school of thought says that it is not just Christians generally, but it's people from the northern region who have been affected. And it is not out of place to actually have data that would clearly state so that we can ascertain the true position of things. Ordinarily, this should not even be done by the Congress of the United States. This should have been done by the Congress, by the House of Assembly in Nigeria and other security apparatus, so that we can have adequate data, know what exactly the issues are, and how do we resolve them. So I think that, the step by the United States lawmakers is not out of place, but I feel that it will be better and carry more weight, and of course, the solutions, if their Nigerian counterparts would also look into doing that, and they will do it holistically.
Todimu, how much of the weight on this matter is because these are minority Christians? What if they weren't Christians? What if there were other religious groups? Would there be no attention to the violence in Nigeria? Would the U.S. stand out and say, they're okay?
Well, the truth of it is that over the years, not just in Nigeria, world over, particularly in the Arab nations and then some parts of Africa, there is an increase in violence against Christians, particularly by the Muslim extraction, because they believe that it is not a religion that people should be in, that, if you're not a Muslim, you cannot be a Christian. So having said that, the truth of it is that we cannot continue like this. One human life, as per the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is that every human life is sacrosanct. That means that the loss of one life should be a cause for concern. So it does not even necessarily have to be a multiple deaths or increasing alarming rate of deaths of Christians in any, whether they are Christians or Muslims. What is most important as human and what is fair to natural justice is that the life of human beings must be sacrosanct. If you were a dog, if you were a cow, people will complain about their deaths. How much more human beings? So it is unfair whether they are Christians or Muslims. And I say no to these matters being politicalized, because the truth of it is that any life lost is painful. So whether they are Christians or Muslims, because down the years, you might now see that there will be a shift and people will now start killing Muslims. And you say, do we still have to go back again? And so why do we have to kill so many Muslims before people shout? The truth of it is that we should acknowledge that the life of anyone that is lost, once that person is a human being, as protected by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it must be dealt with adequately.
It's just worrying that it's become more about Christians than it has become more about human lives. But that aside, what kinds of interventions or supports do you think the U.S. could consider to help protect religious minorities in Nigeria?
Well, yes, for the U.S., the first step that they can take in respect of these issues are, number one, to send in support in respect of infrastructure, military device, military tools and equipment to enable Nigeria, to enable the Nigerian military and the security apparatus to deal with these issues decisively. Also, number two is the issue of, the Nigerian government has over the years complained that who has been funding these radicals, who has been funding these bandits, that money has been exchanging hands through one medium or the other. And they claim, and they allege rather, that these people have international funding. The U.S. can intervene in this direction by, by nipping or cutting the the source of the funding. Number three is that the United States, of course, what they are doing currently is to put pressure on the Nigerian government to ensure that it stands up to its responsibility. If the US, because you will see that over the time when President Trump called out the Nigerian government and said that they were going to take decisive action, we saw that it gained a lot of traction, not just in Nigeria, in the world over. So it means that the pressure from the United States would make our government sit on its toes and do what is needful in respect of ensuring that the lives of Nigerians are protected. Of course, we don't need the United States to come in and mediate in this instance, but it's unfortunate where we have found ourselves, and I think that it's a step in the right direction.
Todimu, at what price, however? No one's talking about what Nigeria has to give back should the U.S. actually intervene in the situation.
Well, the truth of it is that everybody, U.S. can intervene by sending in support, but I am not in support, and I'm not of the view that the United States should send a military response. And because why would I say that? Because if you look at world over, from experience over time, there are places that the United States have intervened in respect of genocide or civil wars. It has been observed that peace and stability takes time before it gets back to such countries. And we can talk about Iraq, we can talk about Libya, and so many. There are quite a number of examples that the military intervention of the US, even Afghanistan, we have quite a number of them that the instability persists, even in spite of the military intervention of the United States. And why is this? Because these problems are generic, they are local, and it is best that they are addressed locally by the leaders of the nation. How can the US do this? The best way is that they can support the government in power and ensure that the needful is done by pushing them to protect the rights of their citizens.
So how will the report requested by the President Trump, how will it influence US policies towards Nigeria and also the ongoing security challenges that we're experiencing?
Yes. Now, the truth is, now if the US conducts its intelligence, it conducts its hearing, and is able to discover the reason why, because the essence of this, before the military of the US intervenes, before the United States government intervenes, rather, what they are trying to do is to ascertain what exactly is the cause of this issue. And that's a very good move, because it is best most times to understand where the issues are coming from. We need to understand the issues from the source so that we can be able to deal with the issues adequately. And I think that the steps by the United States to conduct its own investigation, invite people to come and speak out their truth, and to also observe what exactly are the source so that we can deal with these issues from the root cause. So I think that is fair.
So you think the entire process from when Trump designated Nigeria a country of particular interest up until now has been a proper process? Do you not think the investigations should have come before that redesignation?
Yes. I also believe that the way President Trump called out Nigeria wasn't appropriate. He put a lot of pressure, and I feel that they have gone the route of, they have retraced their steps by conducting this hearing. Though they would not come out boldly to say that, we erred by designating Nigeria of particular interest without conducting investigations. So I think that having received emissaries from Nigeria, having heard from the Nigerian government and other pressure groups, the United States have seen that there is a need to ascertain and understand what exactly is going on in Nigeria and know how best to address the issue, so that it is not, on one side people are saying that it's genocide, on another side some people are saying no, it's political, on the other side people are saying that no, it's not just Christians that are being killed. Muslims, Christians, traditionalists are being killed. So that is the essence of this approach, to be able to identify what exactly is going on.
Todimu, thank you very much for joining us.